Black Americans only started the philosophy that biblical characters were black as a pushback to Eurocentrism that used the Bible to reign divine superiority and subjugation over blacks during slavery. They even created slave Bibles, and like the Mormons, used biblical stories like the curse of Ham to justify slavery. The thing that I constantly have to highlight to black people is that in order to blackwash the Bible, you have to use the same illogical views as the Eurocentric. Now let me explain. The curse of Ham, firstly, Ham was never black, nor cursed with black skin. So believing that the descendants of Ham are black is a straw man, because Ham meant hot in Hebrew, in the areas of northeast Africa like Egypt, Canaan, and Libya, where the Bible describes the areas where Ham's descendants occupied, the climates were sunny and hot. Then there's the Cush argument. Most don't realize that the Torah, the first 5 books, were written in biblical Hebrew, meaning it didn't contain vowel points to distinguish words that sound similar, like Kish or Cush. So, in Genesis, when it says Ham begat Cush, it really meant Ham begat Kish. This is proven biblically in how it goes on to mention Nimrod, then places like Shinar in Babylon instead of places in Nubia or Upper Egypt. When the Bible got translated into Greek, both Kish and Cush's names became intertwined with Ethiopia, which is an ambiguous term for all of Africa and the Arabian world with darker hues. So Tyndale in King James comes along and decides to translate all of these Greek sources. Now anything with Ethiopia became Cushite or Ethiopian, even if the Cushites lived in Arabia. Most of the references to modern Cush comes from the additional books of the Nevi'im or the Ketuvim, which means prophets and the writings. The third application is Jesus being black. This comes from poor contextual understanding of Revelations 1:15, where it says, "His feet were like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace." Fine brass burning in a furnace is an analogy to being purified by fire. But the gaslighters want you to focus on the color of brass instead of the context, so they aim to highlight the past tense English definition for burn because it talks about the dusty or dark residue left behind, instead of using the Greek context of burning in a furnace that Codex Sinaiticus used when the text was canonized. This is not me implying that it's no black Jewish descendants, because it's obvious that there are. This is just to show that the Afrocentric attempts to describe biblical characters as black by twisting biblical context are lies and misinterpretation. Thank you for taking your time to watch. Tell them